In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to access your Exemplary course and take a quick tour of the course. What you're going to do first is scroll down in the menu bar and go down to Around the Table and click on Exemplary Course. You'll see that there are instructions on how to enroll or self-enroll into the course. I've already enrolled, so you'll need to go ahead and read each of these instructions. If you have trouble at any time, you may simply email your instructors. After you've read through your instructions, you can click here and you'll have access to the course, or you might need to enroll yourself. This is a career and self-evaluation course that's offered through University College. It is a Quality Matters certified course, and we've set this up specifically for faculty observers. So you'll notice over here it says, Welcome Faculty Observers. This is the student view of the course, so you're not an instructor in this course. First, we're going to take a look at the course menu. You'll notice that there are different categories in the course menu. First, we have course materials, activities, communication, support, and wrap up. Let's take a deeper look at each of these. First, we're going to take a look at the course material area. You're already on the course news page, which is the landing page for this. And it looks like your course or your dashboard that you see in Blackboard on a normal basis, even as an instructor. First, we're going to start with the instructor introduction plus the big three, which are Start Here, Syllabus, and Schedule. You'll notice that this instructor, after the course news area, has a Meet Your Instructor section. She's introduced herself, given a brief biography, and added a couple of pictures here, and also added some contact information. Next, she put in a Start Here page. This is the first part of the big three. You'll notice she has a welcome section, specifically geared towards showing students which course this is. And then she has created several categories that align with the course menu. Next, we have the syllabus. She has a syllabus attached. You can also copy and paste the syllabus. And she has learning objectives attached as well for each of the modules. And she has embedded her course calendar that lists the week number, the dates, the topics, and all of the assignments. And you'll notice some of the assignments are highlighted. If you aren't familiar with these templates, she created these from templates. If you're not familiar with the big three templates available to you through UT Online and how they can help you design your course, you should probably consider completing menu item number 2 in this workshop. Now we're going to move on. Let's take a look at the next item here in the course materials section. These are the modules. You'll notice that if we scroll down, there are learning module folders. They look like these binders with binder tabs. There's a description of the learning modules, a title of the learning modules, and then if you were to click on one, you would notice there's a table of contents where you can click through. Or you can click the arrows here and also here. Each of the modules has a cohesive design, and they include the introduction, learning objectives, the content, which includes learning activities and sometimes assessments. Then included at the end of each module is a summary, the assessments, and their descriptions along with due dates and grading. And then references for the entire module. This instructor happens to use APA formatting. References may be done in any way that you think is necessary. The other thing that you should notice is that this instructor utilizes a lot of visual and textual content in her folders. You have pictures, you have videos, you have website links, and you have explanations all throughout. If you're not familiar with creating learning objectives, learning modules, or how instruction in an online setting is designed to be engaging, you should consider completing menu item number 3. Now let's move on to the activities section. First, you'll notice there are assessments. There's a folder of grouped assessments that are alike. These are all quizzes. And then you'll notice there's another assessment here. There are also assignments, and you can tell that by this icon here. There is a description attached, and if you click on it, this is where the student's submission will go. You'll notice that you can view the rubric here. With the criteria and the levels. Students can either write a submission or attach files and also comments. And that goes for all of these. Next are career simulations. Since this is a career course, students are exploring different careers. So this instructor created virtual tours of many of the colleges within the University of Toledo. If you get a chance, I would take a look at one of these videos because they're very well done. Next, she has a spot for interview presentations. The presentations that she has her students complete are done via Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, which is a video conferencing tool where you can also record. So students can record and you as the instructor may record also. We'll talk about Blackboard Collaborate a little bit later. The final section in the activities area are journals. Journals are private communication between the instructor and students, and they're not visible to other students, and they're often used for reflections. If you're interested in creating engaging learning activities, assignments, and assessments, you should consider completing menu item 5. If you'd like to learn how to use Blackboard Collaborate Ultra for communication between you and your students, or even allow students to communicate with each other using the tool, you should consider completing menu item 6. Let's move on to the communication area. First, you'll notice a discussion board area. There are discussion board forums created for the entire duration of the course. And you'll notice that in the discussion board area, there are instructions, due dates. In fact, there are 2 due dates, initial responses and replies to classmates, and also a section on grading. Back in the communication area, you'll notice there's contact information. Not only is there contact information for the instructor, but there's also contact information for the Blackboard Help Desk, the Counseling Center, and Success Coaching. This is the instructor's Blackboard Collaborate Ultra course room. She doesn't have anything in here because this isn't an active course. This is a course site for Quality Matters review. So the instructor doesn't need to actually collaborate with anyone, so there's nothing set up in here. But something that you might see in her active course would be a session created or a live course area where students can have an ongoing session for office hours or scheduled sessions for presentations like she might have used for this area. Next is the email area. Depending on what kind of email you have set up, You might be either emailing within the Blackboard system, or you could email through Outlook. This email tool is through Blackboard, and it's a send-only tool. You don't receive any emails in Blackboard. Replies go to your UT email inbox. To send an email to specific students or groups, you'll select the recipients in the available select box. You'll type your subject and message and attach any relevant files from your computer, just like sending a regular email. You'll receive a copy from Blackboard, and also a receipt page will appear after the message is sent, listing all the recipients. This page confirms that the message was sent, but doesn't confirm that users received the message. So this instructor chose to have this email tool incorporated into her course. If you're not familiar with Blackboard's communication tools, you should consider completing menu item 6. Discussion boards are also addressed in menu item 5. Next, we'll look at the support section. First, you'll notice that there is a rubrics page. So in Blackboard, there are usually a couple of ways to do things. Since students often miss the rubrics button on the assignment pages that I showed you earlier, this instructor has decided to create an area where students can download the document for the rubric. So you can see here that this instructor has created these rubrics in a Word document and has enabled students to be able to download them. That way, students can take a look at them, and they can also create a checklist out of them if they'd like. They can print them off, they can cross things out, they can highlight things. It's a good practice. So, this instructor has all of the rubrics for her course listed in this rubrics area. Next is the gradebook. Now, when you're an instructor, your gradebook shows all of the students. If you are a student, you only see your own grades, obviously. So this is what her gradebook looks like. And you can see that you can also view the rubrics here as well. Next, we have learner support. It's an area that looks really similar to the faculty support section that you have access to. And then finally, we have a help section, which takes you to the Blackboard help site in case students are having issues with Blackboard, and it's after hours for the Blackboard help desk.